And welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Hoot preseason edition. Uh, I'm Luke, got Braedon, and Kyle. Well, we had our first look at live Union Omaha soccer today, Sunday the 8th.
It's
And
also the last preseason edition for this year.
yes, since we jump straight into the season next week. Uh, we had a double header at what will be our home field for this year, Creighton's Morrison Stadium, against Creighton and Iowa Western. I was only able to catch the game against Creighton, which was a 5-0 blowout, although at times didn't necessarily look like it was going to go that way. You guys were able to catch both. Iowa Western, that game ending 2-0, but seeing some good returners on both, seeing the way the new guys kind of worked it. Um, I, from the sounds of it, where we were talking before going on record, it seems like the second game was definitely kind of playing to the uh, you know community college level, even though Iowa Western is a powerhouse in um, the junior college game. I mean, the first game against Creighton, we saw what I think would be probably more of our starting lineup out there. Shido in goal. I mean, I guess the Pato didn't show up until the game was already underway. Aron also showed up with Pato. Um, but it looked like a very solid starting 11 there. Immediate standouts for me amongst the new signings, um, Budati,
Yeah.
like 100%. I think he kind of stole the show for the new signings. Keela was making some very good moves up the field, but I'm always going to lean more towards our defenders as my favorites as tends to go. But interested to hear where you guys are feeling, mood wise, and who stood out to you guys throughout the games.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a shaky first half, I would say.
Physical for a friendly.
Yeah, physical. You had some emotions flaring already. Um, but I think that uh, I think of the newcomers, I would say. I would echo Budati. I would also say, Bill Hart was always up there, especially in that first half when
Yeah.
they were kind of playing towards the supporters end, and
I
seeing him
I have a hard
him
time
working
like
was pretty good.
recognizing Bill Hart as a newcomer just because his name's been in every season in some variation.
Honestly, Sergio really made a name for himself too coming back. He scored two of the goals.
Yep.
I think defensively we look decent. There's a few shaky moments, but otherwise, seeing like Knapp come in the midfield and
Yeah.
putting some work into. Yeah, I think it was a good showing, and then some decent showing in the second game as well. But it was definitely more trialist heavy in the second game. So that's something to note as well.
Yeah. And I mean, it looks like we had what one trialist for sure come in during the first game. Came in for Bill Hart, I believe. Um, and we saw something that we don't normally see on the bench. I don't think he made an appearance in either game, but a third goalkeeper, or at least a third player in a goalkeeper kit. Um, Never saw gloves on him, but it would definitely be interesting if we had a third goalkeeper on roster, considering that Cole and Rashid are both top-notch keepers. Having that ability for backup and kind of forcing some competitiveness there would be definitely a fun kind of mix up there. We're very much not at the roster lock point, and kind of hearing across the leagues, not just USL one, but C and MLS even. Um, Visa issues are plaguing teams, so may see some more of those kind of late, term signings versus, um, you know, permanent signings coming in.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it's Prosper's having a little bit of visa issues right now.
Was Prosper there today though?
No, I believe he's still out of country at the moment.
Okay, because I was hearing like mixed, thoughts on who signed on, and obviously you couldn't see the numbers really because they were in the world's smallest font on the back of the jerseys.
Yeah, just on the like nape of the neck
Yeah,
there, yeah.
It was like a training top. It wasn't an actual jersey. Just
Yeah, no, that was the
yeah.
training tops, yeah, but
Although
uh,
we were promised that we'd see the jerseys in action today, and I definitely did not.
yeah. But I mean, even if Prosper's not 100% fit, or if he is having visa issues, Bill Hart was a great player to pick up because just today he showed that he's definitely starting caliber, at least in League One for sure. So
There's a reason he's been playing every year. I mean, he's had some injury issues throughout, but coming back and joining a team like Union Omaha, I think his style of play, as was shown today, fits very well with the physical and fast-paced nature that Union Omaha has kind of built under Vinny.
yeah, and then the other odd thing was Lawrence Wooten playing kind of a bit up sh forward. He wasn't really playing the defensive midfield role he usually does. Wooten- I don't know, like he was kind of a striker at certain points, definitely pressing, but not quite midfield as well.
Well, with his the way he was playing today, I'm almost wondering if that was more out of necessity.
Probably.
Uh,
Yeah.
like not so much that he wasn't supposed to be a CDM, uh, but more the way Creighton was playing and the way they're pressing is like we had to go more on a strict counter and just keep the ball going to them rather than playing out of the back. And Owusu, and to a lesser extent Coleman, really were keeping that back line locked down. Owusu had some fantastic stops. Coleman had some good clearances. Um, you know, but it, there were a lot of positives um, out of this friendly, and I kind of wish it'd been at least against a pro team or even a USL2 side, but uh, you know,
It was kind of against the USL2 side, if you want to
Yeah, I
consider,
mean, yeah, a lot of these guys.
yeah,
a
yeah, that's
lot
fair.
of like college players will go play USL2. So I think Creighton especially was a good challenge as far as that goes, for at
Right.
least like at least getting ready for the Open Cup, if not for the season itself.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to listen to Johnny Torres on the sidelines. Um, and you don't get as many highly animated coaches in USL League One like you do with playing against Torres.
Yeah.
I mean, the
No,
the
that's
cussing being shouted across the stadium was fantastic.
yeah. It was definitely a bit more physical for sure with how Creighton was playing a little bit, and definitely got a bit heated with Coleman in center of it for good reason. For good reason this time. He was
Yes,
justified. Uh,
I mean, I would say, you know, that like bit of back and forthness ended up coming back to bite Creighton a bit, I think, because they let us they gave away a lot of fouls then, put us in good positions, And then once we started finishing, especially right at the end of in the first half stoppage time, and then in the second half, like it just couldn't keep up because now they were trying to have to push more, and we're getting more exhausted because they've already been fouling us really hard. So
yeah, and we were finding a lot of opportunities, definitely trying a lot of things in that final 18 that, I'm glad we were trying in preseason, and I hoping they can get it locked down in the next week, because we go into Spokane with that sort of momentum where we can score 5 goals in one game. And if Spokane's not getting quite the run in to the season that they were expecting, getting something there where we can build off that momentum, playing in front of fans before the season starts, getting where your home field's going to be. And there was a good turnout today for kind of a not super last minute, but close to last minute announcement for a friendly.
Yeah, it was definitely better in the first game. It then kind of petered out a bit for the second, but that's not the most surprising thing either. Being at Creighton Stadium, so
yeah, weird feeling.
I mean, you talked a little bit about who you're most excited about after these games from previous rosters. Two names that come to mind for me, just looking at it. I mean, Sergio definitely with the goal scoring, but Shido was making some big saves. No, hopefully he doesn't have to make as many saves during league play, but really, really showing his caliber out there. But Jiba,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him at left back.
I haven't seen him play that way since his first year at UO.
Yeah.
Where he was playing left back.
Where he was playing left back.
I mean, not unheard of. It's not like he doesn't do that, but I mean, given who we don't have anymore on left or right back, like that might be his opportunity right there if he's fit and he feels like he's ready to do that, because I feel like we kind of get decent amount of depth at least for both positions, but having him there at a much more comfortable, if not at least game ready most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, the way he was playing today, it looks like he's at 100%, and Jiba at 100% is a dangerous player. There's a reason he got picked up by MLS off of his first UO season, and him, if he's at that caliber again, which to me it looked like he was, like that's a player that's going to cause some waves throughout the league.
Yeah, actually, my main question too is that, like, since we're no longer out Warner, the pitch is a little bit wider than what they're usually used to playing. What if that gave a little extra, at least on the wings, for at least some more spread out play?
What are you saying? It's an advantage to have a wide field?
It depends on what you want to do with the field, man. Like, FIFA gives a range of distances for all fields for some reason, and people play it to whatever they want to play it.
You might want to play on a square. You never know.
Yeah. You can do that, which is funny.
So long as it's the what, bare minimum of 101 yards long or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever it is.
I think just based on the players we have, we've built more for the wings and playing up the wings, so a wider pitch is going to be to our benefit. Whoever's going to be our 9, because at first game it looked like we were playing 2 false 9s. No out and out striker. I didn't get to see Pato in the second game, because he's been typically our out and out striker.
He definitely seemed to be more playing like an out 9.
Okay.
Sometimes with assistance, sometimes kind of lone with 2 wings kind of shooting up the sides. So yeah, it depends on what the formation might end up looking like too.
Yeah.
Depending on what he ends up doing. I mean, he had some nice shots too. He forced some saves. He had some nice pressures. But I would say that, I mean, the returning player that impressed me the most in the second game, though, is going to be Aaron, because he scored both goals. He also was just kind of everywhere in that game. He was putting so much pressure on their defense.
Yeah, giving a reason to, to be back, make sure that he's getting his starting spot and prove it in preseason and then prove it in league. Hopefully he can stay healthy because I felt his fallout was a big loss for us last year.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember in 2024, even though he wasn't always starting striker, whenever we did put him on, he was at least good enough. He's experienced enough. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. And
I mean, he was massive in our playoff run in particular, or like leading up to the playoff run, sometime in there, like where he was like our main goal scorer for a while.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So him healthy and back on the pitch is going to be a big boost for us, I think, this season. But in the sake of time, and since we have things to look forward to, and we had some news from the club in the announcement of the 2 new kits and keeper kits. Braedon, since I know you are kit boy extraordinaire, I'd like to hear your thoughts on both the lightning kit and what is it, the glacial. I'm just gonna call it the brain freeze kit.
No. Actually, here's what you need to call it, because like, what's the Gatorade flavor that's like glacial something? It's glacial freeze, ain't it?
Is it glacial freeze?
I believe
Like
that's
that.
yeah. Hold on, because it's called the glacial current kit. First
Ah,
thing I thought of is that, oh yeah, this looks like the Gatorade flavor, glacial freeze. Hold on. Yep, glacial freeze Gatorade, and it's the exact same color kind of tone with
same
that blue
blue.
there. Yeah, I like that a lot. I did not expect blue as the main color for the away kit, which I think is kind of like the big, like, if we want to call it newsworthy of kits, because I'm sure most people don't care about that, but for me that's like the big one. Um,
Yeah, I mean, blue's not been a color we've run with. Like I
except
think we
for
had one training top and like the keeper kit.
yeah, keeper kit we've done before, but uh, I mean, I also like the fact that we did for the keeper kits at least. They're both the same design, just different colors for both of them. With I think that's always a cool thing, matching sets.
Yeah.
And then other thing was we got long sleeve actually keeper kits as well,
Well, I
which
mean, the fact that they're going to be selling those to fans, I know there've been an outcry for years for long sleeve kits for purchase. So be cool if they could get those in the field player pattern and color. But getting that long sleeve out there is for sure a nice change on the merchandise
yeah.
scale.
And I was asking about it with a bunch of the front office people. Like it was a little bit of a big ask. I wouldn't call it big ask, but more or less just like manufacturers are just trying to get out what they want to get out, and we were trying to be like, hey, can you do a little bit extra more for us? And we got a long sleeve there, and then uh what was I thinking for the other thing? Oh yeah, and then for the away kit, it's not all blue kit apparently. It does have blue shorts, but the socks are apparently Volt, so I think that might show up pretty nice on the TV at the very least.
And definitely going to be bright.
Yeah, my only concern is that like because we're black and then blue is our secondary, it's gonna be a little weird playing against other teams that also play in blue, or at least slightly darker colors that are close to blue, like Naples or Charlotte. But
Yeah.
it should be enough a difference.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be interesting because blue is a generally pretty widely used color across the league for either home or away. And with the newer teams coming in, no, I'm not I haven't looked too closely at any of their kits, but like I can imagine Cosmos could be using blue somewhere in there.
Cosmos would be wearing navy because that's their away kit.
That's a blue.
Yeah, it's a navy blue. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna need to worry about that. But
Yeah, but definitely could see some swap on jerseys, home being away or away being home, just to kind of keep it mixed up. Lightning kit to me is probably one of our better kits so far. Kind of stands out a little bit different from what anybody else is doing in the league. It's not over the top crazy, but definitely sets us a little bit apart.
yeah, that one I like the fact because like Red Bull, New York Red Bulls, they released their kind of somewhat similar lightning-ish kit, and it's just like everywhere, and it just looks like a giant blood splatter. I like the fact that we just didn't like do a bunch of it. We did it a lot smaller, a bit more subtle. You won't see on the broadcast, but in person, it kind of pops a bit more.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind it. I also like the fact that we did it with a mix of Volt and whites instead of just doing all Volt or all white accents. So
Yeah. No, I'm happy with the kits. Excited to see them finally on the pitch. Uh, Price wise, they still, international supply chains being what they are, and these coming from overseas. We're still looking about that $100 price point. Even the youth kits are like $90.
I think that might have been corrected at one point, but I could be wrong.
Well, I think there's a discount for season ticket holders, um, but I think a website still has it listed around that price point.
Okay. Yeah. And then the other thing is that the badge on the kits as well is not the like screen printed ink that we've had in the last couple of years. It's like an actual, I wouldn't call
Yeah,
it stick
it's
on,
like
but
embossed kind
yeah,
of.
yeah,
It's
which is a lot cooler. Plus the crest itself has a little bit of texture on the white areas to make it a little more silver. So
yeah,
I like that.
yeah. Because they're that no non-cotton, non non-knit. They're adhesive patches, but they're not the embroidery, but they still actually look good, and they look like it. It's worth the extra step to get that on there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, looking ahead when we're going to get a chance to wear them. And we start the season out next week against Spokane, following it up with the Open Cup against Boffs down in St. Louis, and then a, a 2 weekend stand in Omaha in March, which is rare.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think essentially unheard of. We had one time where we played late March and then early April, when we had snow on the field at UNO, and then we had like ice rain the
Yep.
next game. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially making the trip from it being a Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, I believe. So it's Sunday up in Spokane, have to fly back, fly or drive. Yeah, I guess maybe it's a fly for St.
Well,
Louis.
at that point, like Sunday, you're not flying out till Monday. Do you just fly straight down to St. Louis?
Probably. No.
I mean, you're there then for 2 extra days, so I don't know, maybe not. But then yeah, and then Thursday in St. Louis, Friday you'll head back to Omaha, and then Sunday you have a game, and a game
So
against Boise, who's a pretty hyped up team so far. So
yeah, and I mean we're definitely uh, seeing a good hype with Boise. As we talked a little bit in the last pod. Seeing they've had some good signings. Spokane's kind of become a perennial powerhouse since their inception. Haven't heard a whole lot of that from them in the off season, but we can expect a tough game to start out the league.
well, I mean, the main thing that we heard was Joe Gallardo.
Yes.
So
I mean they can have his short shorts up there. Uh, but we'll have Spokane, tough game. Buffs who, they've made it into the Open Cup, so they're going to be fighting for whatever they can get. And that with Open Cup, never to count the little guys out. And we've proved that time and time again. And I don't think any of our guys are going to go in expecting an easy match there. So it's a travel heavy first week, but then get a homestand that hopefully is well attended. It seems like they're already pulling out some solid stops for the promotion calendar starting on the 28th. They're getting what took I think 3 years for a Thursday only game to get dollar beers for that. They're kicking off starting on the 28th with college night and dollar beers, $3 hot dogs. Can't argue with some budget friendly action.
Yeah, if it ends up actually being that, or if there's some asterisk, I think we're still yet to quite see that. But
there's always asterisks. This is Union Omaha.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No. That would be Greenville.
Yeah. Wrong team, wrong season.
Yep.
But I'm excited. I mean, I watched quite a bit of the league yesterday because first game week for everybody that wasn't gonna play anyway. But I mean, looking at Boise because that was the main one I'm thinking of. That's the only team that was playing that we're gonna be playing soon. They were kind of even with Sarasota in their game. They only won 1-0, but like stats wise, it was pretty even. So, and the hard part, of course, is that we haven't played any League One opposition. We haven't played a full match, and we're like, all right, where are we right now? So,
yeah, it definitely was a little bit clunky, especially that first half, right? Second half, we got things flowing a bit more, but I will say it's good to see most people get 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. We made, I think, 2 subs in the first game, and that was after 80 minutes. And then we made, I think it was 3 subs in the second game, and it was, I think, about 80-minute mark as well. So like most people at least have had some minutes under them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be a hard season to predict until we get through, I think, the first half. But I'm excited to see us go into Spokane. Expect it to be a hard fought one. I think our guys looked really good today. Didn't see anybody on crutches, which is a huge positive. And nobody came off the field on crutches, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think.
Like, also, we didn't see him, but have heard that Blake is mostly back. So
yeah,
so hopefully
he was
the next the next month or so might see him.
Saw him getting touches on the sideline, but he wasn't wearing cleats or shin pads, so he definitely wasn't going to play today. But excited to have him back because that just adds more challenge, more depth for our defensive line.
Yeah.
And from everything hearing from him, he's been pushing himself to the limit to get back, and we need that sort of mentality.
Yeah. I agree. I asked him as well during the season ticket holder meetup, whatnot. He's like, I'm 99% there. Just need to take a little bit extra time, and that's it. And
I'd rather have him sit out for a travel heavy first month, and then come back and really get into the swing of things than be pushing himself to the limit in the first month and then be out for the rest of the season again.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's start this off with some score predictions.
Well, we've never won at Spokane, so
that's true.
Yet.
Yes. Okay, so the one thing too is that we have been very highly rated in a lot of the power rankings across the USO landscape. I think the USO show had us at like number 1 for like their in-person votes, and then the fan vote was clearly rigged for Portland for some reason. Who would have guessed fan votes were like that?
Hey, at least it's not Madison anymore.
Yeah, that's true. but like they had us very highly rated along with Boise, along with Spokane, as well as Portland was up there as well as kind of like the top 4-ish teams that you can kind of expect to at least be in possible hunting for a shield. Um, and as much as I agree with the ranking and the fact that we are a good team, I don't want to be like, hey, we are clearly the best team in the league right now without having played a single game, and that sucks because I feel like we got a good roster. I feel like we got a lot of good experience, a lot of good guys, and I think especially today with the friendly and the kind of latter end of it, with the team really clicking, really going offensive, really going through it. I think if I want to give a safe one, I'm just gonna say we win 1-0. We win a very like nothing crazy game. That's what we got.
Yeah, no, as we've discussed, and I think our bare minimum is we need to make the playoffs. Like that's the bare minimum for the team. Um, I'm feeling optimistic going into Spokane. I think we're gonna break the curse there.
I would like to say that the one thing that always comes back to me though is first games of the season are always weird. You see some wild score lines that you would never expect, and that might be to our benefit, and that might be to our detriment. Who knows? But yeah, the first games of the season just always seem weird. So I also wouldn't be surprised with like a 0-0 or 1-1 draw, right? Like just being, oh, we're still getting into the season type of thing. So I might say draw, but I'm optimistic as well.
Yeah.
Yep. 3-0, Union Omaha.
Okay. I mean, if it comes true, I'm not gonna complain here,
but I think it's going to be very telling, just kind of the mentality we come out with and how we can, make it through that first week of the season. I think that's going to be a good set of tea leaves for us to kind of work the rest of the season off of. Just, if there is a loss in there, how the guys react, if the guys win, how they can come back, deal with the travel, deal with the short time frame, and if provided everybody can stay healthy through that first little stretch, what our next steps are.
yeah. And then of course the other kind of interesting quirk is because since none of the expansion sides are going to be in the Open Cup this year, Boise has a full week of rest at the very least as well compared to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot of things to play there. A lot of cards up in the air. Make much predicting near impossible. So I hope they just have fun.
Don't we all? Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah. Anything else to toss out there before I ask one last question?
I think we'll just see if there's any of those trialists that we saw today that end up signing in the next week or two.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised even if we signed a couple of them to a short-term contract. Sometimes that works in the benefit, like with Cole. Cole was signed to a short-term contract, and then he's become a mainstay. But I expect to see one or two more before we go off Spokane.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Last question for you. Who gives a hoot?
We do.